Yeah, audience, we're back for part two of our Massiverse discussions.
It's
Because there
been
was
a
too,
minute.
yeah, because there was too much to put in a one topic video.
There was a
Hey,
part one.
audience,
I'll find it on our channel.
yep. Hey, audience, you try condensing a whole universe into a topic video, all right? Like it ain't easy, you know. Mm-hmm. Do.
How massive is it?
Oh, extremely.
Hey,
I mean,
that sounds perverted. You can't say that.
let me put it this way, Jake. The first one we're going to be talking about, we could probably make a whole video on it and a whole hour long discussion on it alone, you know? Mm-hmm. Did it do. Did it do.
You know, we have other videos on the channel. Maybe you should go check those out.
Yay.
All the fanatic lore and all the things you miss.
Mm-hmm. All the reviews and all that good stuff, you know? Me bragging about America.
And then tell us how many times did we talk about Phineas and Bird? And
Yeah, let's talk about platypuses. What are they? I'm confused.
They're a boring animal.
They're a mammal that's poisonous, lays eggs, has a duck bill and a beaver's body, and they have no stomach. And they glow. I mean, UV lights, by the way.
Well, I figure when the creator's like, okay, let me do something for every animal. Platypus, let me just give him glow.
How much you tell me what a tiger dillo is?
I think we know what that is. I don't think we need to talk about that.
You gotta roar like a tiger dillo. What the hell is that?
Yeah, man.
It's a striped armadillo, sir.
But it roars.
Don't make me explain biology.
Thought this was
to roar like a tiger dillo. So is it a tiger? Is it a tiger?
It's half tiger, half armadillo. It's like a mini tiger with a giant shell.
Is a zebra black or is it white?
It's racist. I know that much.
Hey, an age-old question: does it have white stripes or black stripes?
Do you ever have the N-word power?
No.
Y'all thought this was a planet of fanatics. We're a planet of animals.
A zebra just says the N-word, everyone gets mad.
Yeah. But anyway, you guys want to get started?
I guess so.
Okay. Well, okay, audience. Welcome to Comic Fanatic Live with our Massiverse Part 2 discussion. You're here with me, Cryptid Seeker 415. No fanatic is above the law, and we are no fanatics.
Jake doesn't get that reference. Go, Jake.
And you're here live with who you think is Jake Tylenol. That's what I sound like. Actually, I am the reverse.
Mm-hmm.
You're reverse Jake Tylenol now?
Yes, I'm reverse Jake Tylenol.
Mm-hmm.
I get Ace Comics. I think Ace and Fanatic on Twitter and on YouTube. Now that I think about it, listen. Let this century be yours, as the old century was mine, and not that.
Oh. And so did that franchise of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
I'm glad someone got that reference. Thank you. It was the Avengers before the Avengers.
That was a guilty pleasure of mine. Like, I know a lot of people look at that from Infinity, but I look at that as saying that's America representation with Tom Sawyer. Take that, Brits.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I just watched it again a little bit.
Okay, so together we are the Fanatics. if you want to look us up on our socials, we're on Twitter X at Comic Fanatic 69, and that's all I remember in our socials. Dang it, which we need you, man.
Uh, we're on Instagram, Fanatic 2.0, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it. Which has a
Yep.
TikTok, which underscore of underscore Jotunheim. Well, all you want to see, which not here, which not here.
Ah, gotcha. But alrighty then. With that, guys, want to get started?
Yeah,
Uh,
Jake, go
anyone-
ahead. First book of the night. Go ahead, Jake.
oh, hey, it's Wish.
Hey, Witch is here. We already did the
Too late.
socials, Witch. To the
Jake,
best
your
of our
turn. Start
ability.
the book. Start the book, Jake.
Guys, you ever hear about that No One comic?
Oh yeah.
That's not one comic? Yeah, bro. I heard it was a good book.
It kind
It
of
is.
it's kind of like if Jason Todd tried to be Batman when he was still Robin.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of life he gives me sometimes, bro.
Yep. This is like, in terms of like the Massiverse as a whole, no one is an island to itself. Like, there has yet to have been one character outside in the Massiverse that ever made an appearance in no one's book yet. But I think that plays to its strength because I gotta be honest, audience. I've been reading comics for like over 20 years now. I have never read a comic to the extent that this book has. You know, it gives you a whole different experience. You know, but
Yeah,
you really got to get invested into this world because it feels like this is like season 4 to a series. You know, like characters have already gone through character development or ramifications or have been arrested, and you're just like trying to keep up with everything, you know. I mean, the bad guy, who's known as the copycat killer, he's claiming to be the third copycat killer, but now he's actually claiming to be actually the original copycat killer. I'm like, what? Oh, geez.
I'm like, bro, what's going on, man?
Yeah. There's actually a reason why we took so long to want to talk about this because there's just so much going on here. There's a mystery about this book, you know. For one, we still don't know who no one is.
I think it's Jake, if you ask me.
Ah,
It'll explain why he's always in different locations around the world every Fanatic night on Monday.
yeah. Look at you with your wicked skills. When you told us you were going skydiving, you were just getting ready for your next no one mission, Jake.
That was my training.
Gotcha. But in terms of who no one is, no one, he's an activist, right? When he started his career, he was a hacker. His whole premise was really just exposing the corruption of corrupt people, you know, holding them accountable for what they've done, right? He will make viral videos saying like to like this random person, yeah, I know what you did, the crime, the corruptions you done. If you don't release that and be held accountable, I will pretty much dox you. You know, which you have 24 hours to do that. And of course, no one did. So no one ends up doxing them anyway. The whole public now knows all the dirty deeds that they've done, like, you know, a corrupt, like, let's say, business CEO. You know, he's been dumping toxins in the Jersey Shore. You know, this and that. But one thing no one didn't count on was the fact that there's this one specific individual who's referred to as the copycat killer. He actually has been taking it upon himself to actually kill the people that no one has doxed.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
They call it the accountability movement.
Yes. Yep. And this is what leads to who I would say is the main character of this book, Ben Kern. Ben Kern was like a retired police officer. He's like a decorated police officer. What you would want to see out of a good officer and this and that, right? But good lord, has this guy been through so much in his life? Not only just on the force, but in terms of what his family has gone through. It turns out the first copycat killer, yeah, is his son, Aaron Kern. He
Yep.
openly, yep, he openly confessed, and the people in the police department, like, this was unbeknownst to Ben, right? But they just wanted to hide this from the public because they had such respect for this man. But unfortunately, like, news medias and that stuff revealed that the police department was trying to cover up who the identity of the copycat killer was, just to save grace for Ben. And on top of that, his wife also passed away not too long ago due to a terminal illness. And he also does have one other son by the name of Michael Kern, who unfortunately is an addict and, is just trying to find his way in life. And what happens in the first issue?
All this is before issue 1, people.
Yes, I feel like you need I wouldn't mind if after this book is done, we get a prequel comic to this. Because, again, you just have to let this all soak in on you. There's literally police reports by the end of this book that date back years ago that are perfectly summarized in files as to who got doxxed, what were their crimes, who they were, this and that. It feels like you're reading Law and Order, really, But
Yeah, Law and Order. They want you to call in to help them find the killer.
yeah. But before we get to that, Michael Kern, one of Ben Kern's sons, he gets killed by the copycat killer. And
yeah, but by the third one, I believe.
By the third one, the one who wants to continue, the one who's actually proclaiming himself as the original copycat killer, So, yeah, we're definitely going to have to cross over a lot of things, but because, again, there's so much in this book.
It's so insane.
Yeah. Like, even the minor things, like, let me put it this way. The copycat killer, he chooses to use this one specific gun he has. And it wasn't until, like, in the most recent issue where we found out that there's actually a lot of history with this one gun. You see, he chooses to kill his victims by shooting 5 shots at them, but only 4 bullets land. And this is where I'll bring it up. To coincide with each issue, there's a news media within the world of no one, right? And the characters there had a podcast, and the people at Image decided, let's actually have a podcast like with these characters talking about who no one is, and each of those podcasts, each of those episodes get released following each issue, At first, it was a nice little piece of gravy to your mashed potatoes, a nice little treat, like getting a chance to hear the voices of a lot of these characters. I mean, they even got Patton Oswalt to be one of the co-hosts of this podcast, right?
The world famous MODOK.
Yeah, the one who devised a way to cross over Marvel with Star Wars, Ratatouille himself.
Exactly.
Yep. But you get some backstories, like some mythos, some some one-on-one time with some of the characters in here, thanks to this podcast. But later on, you come to see that some of the stuff that gets revealed in the podcast actually have a big effect within no one's book itself. Like, there comes a point where in the podcast, Who is No One, where they're like 5 episodes in, and they realize, okay, we haven't actually talked about who no one could possibly be, So they decided to coincide the name. they gave a list of 3 suspects that they believe could be no one, you know? And after that podcast was released, the following issue proceeded with, the public hearing about those 3 suspects, and all those 3 suspects get an assassination attempt at them.
Yep.
I was like, oh shit, one of them actually even dies.
Well, at least we know it ain't him.
Yeah, well, we didn't see a body. Let's point that out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. One of them was supposedly killed. Who he was the brother to a conservative senator. And keep in mind, audience, like this book doesn't try to mince, like, between if you're a conservative or you're liberal or any of that. Like they openly say too what side of the political spectrum a lot of these characters are. Where was I going with this? Okay, so yeah, the senator's brother gets killed. One decorated police officer gets 4 shots in him, but he fights the copycat killer enough to avoid getting killed. And the other suspect, the copycat killer, was about to kill him until no one came and saved him. Now, keep in mind, audience, we still don't know who no one is. All we know is the fact that they're just basic skills. They know how to fight hand to hand. It appears they're wearing body armor of some kind. Their helmet definitely is recording stuff. Definitely. Can't tell if it's a man or woman, and because honestly, I just gave it up at that point because a lot of times when it
It's
comes to
comics. They
mystery,
can just say, "Oh, she wrapped
yeah,
her chest."
yeah, yeah.
That, can you hear me?
Well, guys, today we're going to
Well,
be
yeah,
talking
credit
with
credit
Sonic.
cut out a little bit. So
We're going to talk about the state of Sonic in 2024.
Can you guys hear me?
yeah, there you're
Oh,
back.
there you go.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Oh, yeah. As I was explaining, yeah, a lot of times, like mystery characters are drawn typically like with a standard male superhero build, 6 foot tall, muscular body. But then when they take their mask off, all of a sudden they're a woman. I'm like, what?
Yeah, 5'2" female. Oh, I wear stilts and stuff. Like what?
Yeah, yeah. So no one's identity is still up in the air. Although a lot of people assume that he's actually Michael Kern, the son that got killed in the first issue. But
I
again,
I
yep.
guess some people believe that, but that'd be like a big fake out thing you'd have to do because we saw him get buried.
I know, right? Oh, hey, if this is the well, the one rule I've heard a comic reviewer state is if a character comes back from the dead in any universe or any you know, yeah, any series. In that case, everybody is up for grabs for being able to be resurrected after death, right? I'm trying to think if
Yeah,
anybody in the Massiverse actually died and come back.
the only person to die and come back is Nathan, but I guess it doesn't count. He wasn't really dead. His
Yeah,
body was
yeah,
dying, but his conscience was like in the existence. So like he wasn't
yeah,
like dead yet.
yeah. His soul was still chained to the mortal world, so
Yeah.
it could be anyway. As a matter of fact, Michael Curtin was actually one of the potential suspects that the podcast actually named because that's who everybody was thinking. Let's see. I know there was also something else. Oh yeah, concerning the gun that the copycat killer was using. One odd thing about the gun, right? It's a cheap ass gun, like from 30 years ago, and for whatever that can only hold like about 5 bullets. And for whatever reason, like the copycat killer wants to use one blank for his 5 bullets. If you want to hear the story behind that, you guys got to listen to the podcast. It's enjoyable.
It sounds like
Um,
there's a fake kill yourself plot there. I'm just saying.
yeah. they go into depth in the podcast to explain that that's in relation to back in the day where inmates were scheduled for their execution, right? In the bullet range, you have five officers, aiming a rifle at the inmate, and only one of them was given a blank. None of the five officers are aware of who has the blank, but it's just like apparently it was just done in a way to like give some of the officers some comfort in knowing that maybe I wasn't the one who landed the death shot, you know?
Oh, okay.
Hmm. Yeah. But later on you come to find out that that gun was actually damn, I just want to only talk about the important stuff in here because I could go on rambling a, a long time about a lot of the
Okay,
side
we're gonna get a
revelations.
whole 2 hour podcast just about knowing. It's so expensive. Everything in this book.
Yeah, yeah. But Austin, you've been hearing me talk about this. So, what are your thoughts on No One?
No one for me is such a unique experience that it just kind of throws me off sometimes.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
like I said, it reminds me like if you put like young Jason Todd in Gotham, but
yep.
he wants to be like Batman died, so he's trying to be Batman. That's kind of the
Hmm.
vibe no one gets me sometimes. Wow, because
Ah,
he's
okay.
brutal, he's efficient, but you can tell he's kind of rash in some of these moments.
Yep.
Like he's not like you were talking about earlier. This body armor he has on, well, they have on. It's not really that good. I believe they got shot in the last issue, or at least issue four
They,
last. I
yeah,
didn't run
they
all the
did
way
get a
through.
they did get a bullet wound.
Now I don't remember the first time they did so in this comic. I believe they also got shot in the when he was chasing down the senator like through the rooftop situation. There was like some mercenaries there or
Yep.
something. Like around issue
Hmm.
5.
Right. That's what happened.
And you would think all these gunshots and stuff, but yeah, maybe Blake could be no one. But no one's walking around like they're hurt. So I
How do you know it's just one person? How do you know it's just one person, man?
well, that's my biggest fear in the no one mystery. They're going to swerve you like, actually, it's all three of these people.
Yeah, I mean, you
They,
kind
they,
of
they
have
migrate
to
days.
because for whatever reason, this person they have like God's eye view as to all the nasty stuff a person did. Like how do they have access to it? Like this is something they even
Yeah.
talked about in the podcast, right? Whoever whoever no one is, here's the things that we at least n- have to suspect of who no one could be, right? They have to be a physically fit person. They have to have access to a whole bunch of police filings, this and that. And I forgot what the third thing is. Motive. You know?
Yeah. And when it comes to that, it's only like four people that we know that it can line up to be.
Yep.
But it's also like one's in jail, the other one's dead potentially,
Yeah.
and the other two we kind of know where they were at some points where no one should not, it at the timing wouldn't add up for them to be no one.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's the best part about this mystery. No one's also not really that tall. If you look at no one standing next to certain people, like
Yep.
I believe he's shorter than Ben
Ah, true.
when they stand next to
Well,
each other.
Austin, at this point, I'm expecting no one to be Ben's wife at this point.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting too. I was expecting either the wife or the other girl who's coming with the pie class with the colored hair.
Oh, Julia. But no, it can't be her because she got saved by
Oh yeah, she
no
got
one.
saved. Yeah,
Yep.
you're right.
Yep. Oh,
Like,
go ahead, Austin.
oh yeah, the mystery of who no one is and the mystery of the copycat killer are both. It's weird to have like two major engaging mysteries in one go at the same time.
I know, right?
I,
I forgot. I mean, for God's sakes, Aaron Kern, the son that got arrested, right? Like he was arrested because he was revealed to be the original copycat killer, but then later on, you come to find out, no, he his only alibi was that he confessed to being the copycat killer. There was
yep.
no actual evidence to point to him being them.
Even
And
when
then
his
he
dad
gets,
tried to talk to him in prison, asking like why you did it, he couldn't come up with like an actual reason.
mm-hmm, that's true. You know? So, damn, I was going to say something. Oh, yeah, another plot to this story, right? You have this one senator by the name of Noah. Like, he's a huge self-defense activist, you know? There was this one recent case that happened where one person on the internet, where two people were arguing amongst the internet, and one of them said, I something on the form of, yeah, I'm going to dox you, I'm going to SWAT you, I'm going to basically pull a no one on you, you know? So what does the other guy do? He finds that guy and shoots him.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I can see that.
And this caused like a little ripple effect to happen because the guy made a case saying like, he turned over all his DM messages to the police and that stuff because the other guy was like saying, I'll go as far as to SWAT you, call the officers or whatever, tell them that, tell them your address, that you have potential dangerous hazards or weapons, this and that. They'll come at your house full force. That's apparently what swatting means, right? And so the guy in the receiving end was like saying, I just reacted in self defense. And this is where the Senator Noah guy is like saying, we're going to be issuing a law to which if you feel like your life was threatened online, you could take immediate action against that other person, you know? So for
Yeah,
anybody saying like, I'll blank you, and that if you're on that receiving end, then you have the right to take action on that person who sent you that message. Yeah, that cannot possibly go wrong, right? You know,
definitely went flying the days era.
exactly. You hear people getting death threats a lot of time on the online, but now, oof, even if you just say that, then that person could actually take action against you, physical action. You know, so yeah, I guess accountability is the word of this whole story that you have to keep in mind. Um,
Basically, be good people, or you might die. Just for
yeah, as
this book is crazy.
yeah, as no one would state, no one is above the law, and I am no one. you know. Let's see. Do. As far as how he fits in with the whole Massiverse as a whole, even after this character gets revealed, like he's such a grounded level character that I don't even know what they could do with him if, like, let's say, the next Catalyst War happens. Everybody
People,
has powers, but this guy
for
could do
example,
all the guy
go
could
ahead.
do is just hack.
People, for example, it'd be like say like Justice League year 7, and then suddenly like year 1 Batman's there, and like, bro, I don't think you need to be here right now. You need a
Yeah,
little bit more experience under your belt.
exactly. But Jake, do you have any thoughts on this, given everything we were talking about?
My thoughts. It sounds like a massive book for massive fans, and if you're a fan of that massive stuff, then how about you get on down there to your local
Yeah,
book?
it's definitely a book that, like, look, when I gotta be honest, when this book was first coming out, like, I read the first issue. I told my comic book shop just give me every massive verse book that's coming out, and I remember trying to read it, like, it was text bubble heavy. Like, I didn't even attempt to finish it. I had to wait a couple of issues in to like say, okay, now I'm gonna get to this book. I'm gonna get to this book. Now that I finally have, now that I finally gotten into the book and don't have to wait month by monthly to see what happens next, I'm really enjoying it. But at the same time, you got to let each issue settle down with you, and also listen to the podcast to coincide with it.
Yeah, listen to us. Let us talk about it for you and sell you on the book, and then
Again, audience, I'm just skipping a lot of juicy bits from this book for the sake of the time length we have.
And since we
Mhm.
already spent 30 minutes on one book, maybe something.
Okay. Let's see. Next one. Next one. I know we were supposed to talk about Rogue City, but Austin, you want to talk about Radiant Black first?
Oh, sure. Let's go ahead and try to talk about that. Let's try to talk about that because that's confusing.
Hmm.
Basically, people, around issue, I want to say issue 22 or so, there's a fan vote for you to choose who is Radiant Black. Which hero do you want as our two protagonists that you've been with at the beginning of the book? Nathan and Mitchell. I believe, no, Nathan and Marshall. Almost, not Mitchell. This is a whole
Marshall,
different dude.
Marshall, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Marshall. And I won't lie, I chose Marshall. I voted Marshall.
I,
Marshall has more experience with the power.
I,
He knows the team already. All the other stuff. Go ahead.
yeah. I got late into Radiant Black audience, but after having caught up with Radiant Black, I actually would have voted for Marshall as well for the reasons that Austin
Yeah.
just gave. You know.
I think
Uh,
Marshall's journey as a hero is a little bit more compelling
but
than Nathan's.
yeah. But at the same time, in given Nason's situation, keep in mind he has financial troubles at home. He's a struggling writer. Like, dude, kind of needs some time to work on his personal life. Is all I'm saying. You know.
Yeah, he was going to take the power and move to a whole different city to try to start
Hmm.
anew. And it's like, bro, I
Hmm.
don't think you need to do that. I think you need
Yeah.
to, you're going to do that, lead the power here.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in doing this fan vote, they decided to instead make two different timelines. So the timeline where Marshall kept the power and the timeline where Nathan kept the power. And I'm gonna tell y'all
Yep.
right now, one of those timelines looking a lot better than the other one right now, and it's kind of sad.
Yeah, like I vote for Martial Audience, but after reading both timelines as they are right now, I actually want Nathan's timeline to be canon. Like,
It's kind of sad, y'all. But so going into the Catalyst War is basically an alien guy, alien Power Ranger man from another
hmm,
planet called the Leader, is basically taking over planets. For his
yeah,
people rebelled against him, came to Earth, found people they gave power to. But if you read Power, you're kind of familiar with this type of stuff.
yeah, yeah.
Gave four people their power, and now they are the Radiants. Radiant Black, red, yellow, and pink. With all everyone had their own unique powers.
Hmm.
There's a guy we call Radiant Green, but he's not really Radiant Green. We'll talk about him later.
Yeah, yeah.
And now that guy's here. He's like, I'm gonna kill everyone on Earth for this power, or you can fight me for it 1v1. You Radiant Black can challenge me to be the leader, basically. And that's the Catalyst War. He's attacking the whole planet with his army, but in order to win, Radiant Black needs to beat him in basically combat. I don't think it's hand to hand.
Hmm.
Just combat 1v1 with no help, from my understanding.
Yeah, Radiant Black, regardless of whoever gets chosen, they have to go through like different trials. They have to be challenged to different assets. You know, like I
Yeah.
think the first trial was basically seeing them respond to an invasion. You know.
And it was a pretty decent invasion. The way it's hard to explain certain stuff because y'all have to see the art, but the way they show this invasion and these type of robots, I think it's very unique designs how they handle it.
Hmm.
Eventually, like the only other option you have like comparable to this like Power Rangers, and it's
Yep.
such a different feel despite feeling similar that it stands on
Hmm.
its own.
Hmm.
Because you don't call your Zords down, y'all. Your Zords are in your body. All right.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of scene with giant robot hands just reaching down and starting to grab people. So it's very cool.
Hmm.
But in order to challenge him, Nathan and Marshall had to choose who get the power. As I said, they led to two different timelines. So how do you want to do this, Chris? Do you want to talk about one timeline? I talk about the other one, or are we just going to
Uh,
go like issue by issue for both timelines?
uh, let's go with one timeline at a time. Let's go with Marshall's timeline.
All right, let me get my Marshall back up.
Gotcha. Remember, man, you're
But
more heavily invested with Radiant Black, so you're going to be taking the bulk of this.
I get it. I understand. It's just
Yeah.
it was a lot. So I'm like, at least you know a little bit of what's going on. 'Cause I'm gonna miss stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
for the people who don't know, there are gonna be a lot of similar events until like issue 8. I believe I'm gonna start around issue 26.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's when the invasion starts. I believe so.
Yeah, yeah.
So for Marshall's side, him, Nathan, and what's the old guy's name, bro? The old dude who's in
Cure,
their
Cure or
body.
something like Cure. Oh,
Yeah,
wait. Cure or something like that? Kos? Something with a K.
oh yeah, the leader's name is Premier, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
The villain leader is named Premier. Premier.
He looks like a Radiant boss, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, he definitely like he's the origin of powers. If that's the case, if that's the origin that we're going with.
Mm-hmm.
But so for Marshall's storyline, he uh he wants Nathan to come with him. He uses power. Oh yeah, I guess we should explain this. Marshall's
Yeah.
power with Radiant Black is gravity control, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So he can fly. He can make other people fly. He can make small black holes, which is why he called Radiant Black.
Mm-hmm.
He also has 2 different levels to his power, where he can get a cape, and depending on how distorted it is, the more power he's pushing out to it.
Mm-hmm.
That power
His,
hasn't been as fleshed out yet because no one can really explain it to him.
yeah, his cape is basically his god mode level, apparently.
Yeah, basically. I guess that's all the way we'll explain it.
Mm-hmm.
But they're trying to head to the main flagship to fight Premier. And they funny enough, they just kind of just go there. The invasion is being fought by all the other Radiants. I believe I don't Rogue Sun's not here. I don't think any other person from another book is here.
Oh,
So I don't
it
think their book is
depends.
caught up.
No, it depends on in Marshall's story. Radiant Pink actually shows up.
No, that's what I said. Radiant Pink is here and Radiant Yellow is here. And I believe Radiant Red is in another issue later. And I know Shift's also coming later. But
Nah,
I mean like Rogue Sun, Inferno Girl, and none of them shows up. Like the other non-Radiant heroes don't show up.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's true.
I just feel like Radiant Sun should be here. Rogue Sun should be here. This is a big deal.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
his book's not caught up to this, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
But Premier kind of reminds me of a Ben 10. Like Ben 10 touched on Radiant after that was Premier look like.
That's true.
But Premier and the Radiance, the actual robot, the Zords of the Radiance, talking this weird text style that sometimes I kind of miss stuff. But right now he's talking to Premier. They're trying to figure out how they're gonna do this new engagement. And basically, the giant Zord of Premier from inside his body. I don't know why he has one inside of him. I thought he was like the main thing, but but Marshall's giant robot coming at him too. It's ridiculous. Trying to
Mhm.
like explain what I'm looking at. It's so insane. So the
Yep,
giant
yep.
Zords just coming out each other's body and they're starting to swing on each other. Marshall
Mhm.
trying to fight Premier. He is not really doing anything. The robot got to retreat back into. Premier calls the robot's invasion attack, so he retreats the robot back. So his Zord back into himself. We got to get these things better names. They got to
Yeah.
name these things. They just say so.
Mm.
Marshall's Zord goes back in his body to protect him. It's kind of, if you know Power, it's kind of like imagine his Zord stuff also runs on a morphing grid, but it uses like the some from your body, like from your
Mhm.
suit. So to
Yep,
be
yep,
at
yep.
full power, he needs to call the Zord back into himself.
Right.
The robots are attacking all different cities. Radiant Pink and Radiant Yellow are trying to coordinate a rescue and assault. And Radiant Black, Marshall helps them with this situation. While they basically teleport a whole highway away at one point.
Yeah. Keep in mind, audience, Radiant Pink's whole powers, she could teleport things, but
Yeah, so you can make
there's
warp holes, basically wormholes type
yeah,
things.
but they take stamina out of her, and when she had to teleport a whole highway, oh dude, she was knocked out after that. You know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Radiant Yellow can see the future, and Radiant Red can kind of absorb things to make power. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know exactly how to describe her power. It's usually in different ways.
yeah, a lot of these characters end up, there's more to the powers of each Radiance than we see in, like, they hone their skills afterwards, you know?
Yeah.
So, mm,
Premier summons a giant robot. Think like X Men's cartoon Sentinels. How
yep.
big they are. Radiant Black uproots the railroad tracks so he can tie the man down to the city. They can keep him from attacking stuff.
Hmm.
Uh, but he doesn't. The robot doesn't care. The robot decides to try to shoot all his bombs. Radiant Black puts on his cape. Something Nathan can't do, which is another reason why we voted for Marshall. Nathan had
Yep,
not
yep.
reached this level of power, which you assume you'll need to beat the big bad.
Yep, yep.
But he puts on his cape, uses gravity power to try to contain the explosion. And while he couldn't contain the whole explosion, he did save himself and Nathan from, dying to it.
Yep.
And that's kind of where the first part of Nathan's story ends. And with the government is like, hey yo, bro, we're gonna help you. It feels like Godzilla 2014, where they're like, maybe we should help the Godzilla person.
But the tax dollars are good use. If you can't depend on the government to save you from an alien invasion, what can you depend the government on?
I like it. Just, maybe we should help the superpower people. maybe this is the biggest.
No.
So let me go to Marshall's next thing, I guess. I have to skip a whole book, people, because this each issue is a whole different story.
Yeah. We're basically doing the Cliff Notes version as tight as possible, you know?
Yeah. This book opens up with Nathan. Nathan's a writer, that's his job. But he's also terrible. Or at least he lacked motivation, I guess the best way to say it.
Yeah. But that's one thing I kind of like. But that's one thing I like that they did for Nathan in this timeline, like to say that he's going to be the one to write the story of Radiant Black. He's putting his writing skills to use in this timeline.
Also, he wrote. If you go on YouTube, putting Radiant Black versus Blaze, that is a commercial in the universe for Radiant Black that Nathan wrote. By the way.
Oh, wow.
So you're gonna watch that fight between Radiant Black and Blaze, who is the older hero in this timeline, who isn't active anymore.
Okay.
But we cut to Marshall and the old guy whose name starts with K that we don't remember. Right? I'm gonna call this man. This is his Splinter right now. We call him Master Splinter.
Okay.
Marshall Master Splinter talking on the roof. Cause he's taking a break, he needs to replenish, he needs to eat some food, He wastes a lot of energy trying to save the day. And nothing's happening right now. Premier is planning his next phase. And Nathan is still writing. He's kind of losing. He seems like he's unsure or losing faith in the choice to give Marshall the power. He himself says, even is Eisenhower once said, a sense of humor is part of the art of a leader. Maybe he was on to something. Even if it's only a defense mechanism, Marshall does have a way of putting people at ease doing all of this. That's part of why he's the right choice to be Radiant Black, unless he kills us all. And it's funny because you go through their backstories, which I mean, one of the early issues go. Anytime Nathan needed support, Marshall was always there. So it's funny to see in this situation when Marshall needs his support, he's like, I don't think Marshall's a little bit too impulsive. He might get assaulted.
Oh.
And I was like, dude, that's kind of messed up.
Yeah.
But as they sleep that night, because Premier's not killing people right now, he's taking a break, making phase 2. He sends in robots, I believe, to kill them when they're asleep. The reason I said I believe, because these robots look like another person named Shift, who we're going to talk about later.
Yep.
But after the robots come here, they teleport Marshall away. What is he? They call themselves. There are several paths back to Harmony with callous violence. That's what they call themselves. Okay, now we're going to group violence right now.
Yeah.
Basically, it's 5 of them. Think of like it's funny enough, they're kind of all using weapons like Ninja Turtles, except for one, they're like X-23. Basically, they're trying to jump your boy. And this is embarrassing.
This is their next. his next trial,
Yeah,
audience.
his next trial survived the Ninja Turtles and Karai. That's basically what this is. But
hmm
Marshall starts getting beat up, but Marshall's best gift is his I would say his response. He's very good at coming back in fights. I
hmm
feel like once he get his groove in, he's just kind of figured out what to do. The problem is whatever they're doing to him is making him vibrate violently.
Yeah.
And then they blow up a bomb behind him, try to disorient him. But it's Marshall. Marshall powers through, gets his superhero cape on. He's like, you know what? I'm done with this. But he not only does like the superhero cape, he goes like a step beyond that. Like I said, the cape has like two forms. So he goes like full max power right now. Only to
hmm
realize that they had kidnapped Nathan already. And they got Nathan crucified in town square. Not really crucified, not nails and stuff. But he's wrapped up
hmm
by his arms in the Jesus pose in Times Square.
Yep.
Marshall finally gets there. He tries does his best to save him. But you know, these some real villains here. We don't play that soft stuff. And they stab Nathan, killing him.
Yep.
Nice.
And this made me realize that we voted to Jason Todd, man.
Oh, God.
We voted
Wait till
anybody who voted for Marshall got Nathan killed in this timeline.
wait wait till you guys hear Nathan's timeline.
All right.
Okay, we'll continue on.
There's one more, which is the one more issue for Marshall.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, people don't know. Each issue has like connecting cover. So like
Yep.
on Marshall's timeline, Nathan's timeline all got connecting cover of both of them fighting two sides of the same thread.
Yep.
But as Spencer Splinter goes to talk to the leader of violence or the Ninja Turtles, I guess we'll call them. You realize they both look like the same type of alien. And the guy reveals that the third test has already started. And then you cut to Nathan's funeral.
hmm
Marshall's obviously crying.
Wow.
He's beat up. He's pissed off. Some random rich dude who I don't recognize shows up.
Yeah.
And then Marshall had to show up and look at Nathan's parent in the face.
Oh.
And it's so sad because the mom is crying and stuff, and he goes down and he just tells them, I'm Radiant Black. Nathan was, and then I was. They haven't been here to fight me. And the mom refused to accept it. And she's like, Nathan didn't do anything. Don't put this on him. He's like, I'm not putting it on him. I'm putting it on me. And they just tell Marshall to leave. His parents don't really like Marshall. They didn't like Marshall at the beginning of this book either. While they've been
hmm
friends, they do think Marshall's like the screw up friend.
Yep.
They're like, oh, Nathan probably do better without him around. And they're probably
Yep.
right to be the sad part about it.
Hey, hey, they heard about the school tussles Marshall's been in. Keep in mind, these two
Yeah.
have been through high school together, so yeah.
Uh, Premier's back team shows up with their little rocket launcher looking thing. Oh, they're like rifles, space rifles.
hmm
And Marshall goes all out immediately. He is not playing around. He's
hmm
uh, gravity controlling missiles, throwing them around. He somehow seems to have made his own. I guess because well, to be fair, Premier made a wormhole in the shape of Radiant Black in the middle of town. Marshall flies through it to the ship, flies straight in. The helicopters and the government are following him. Obviously,
hmm
he's finding the giant. He's finding the robots on his own. He's doing incredibly well. Fueled by rays, he's just blowing them apart really. And these robots are like I would say at least 10 feet to 30 feet tall, depending on the robot.
Yeah, yeah.
And as Marshall is trying to get out of the portal is exploding and it nukes town.
Eesh.
And I don't mean just nukes it. This looks like Injustice Metropolis right now.
Oh yeah.
Like Marshall is the sad end of this timeline. And Shabir shows up like, damn, you were a bitch, bro. And like that's time for your final test. So we're finally by the end. It's like, bro, he's Marshall from his point of view, despite being the one more suited to the task, in my opinion, he has failed everything. Friend got killed, city's blown up, and now there's one more test. Unless the test reveals that it was all a dream, I'm like, bro,
I I hope it is because all right, now that we heard about Marshall's, let's talk about Nathan's, and I will try keeping this as brief as possible. Well, when Nathan became like got the power of radiant black back, I like how he was going about it like in the first issue, right? When Marshall was like condensing the explosion, we do get
yeah,
something similar to that with Nathan, but instead he condenses all this magma from a metal factory and basically uses that to destroy some of the robots that were invading. And then
he's
after,
smart.
yeah, he's creative. He's a writer. So I like how they kept that in his style. And in the following issue, uh, as opposed to like bringing someone like let's say Radiant Pink in, which is what Marshall did. But in the following issue, like he goes through the trial again where he fights the Ninja Turtles. But in this case, it is Radiant Red that makes an appearance here. Now keep him. Oh, hold a sec. You guys hear me?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. So Radiant Red makes an appearance. Now, this is pretty awkward because, again, audience, you got to remember the reason why Nathan was out of commission was because of his battle with Radiant Red. She felt so sorry about that. She didn't mean for that to happen. In this situation, she is here to help Nathan out. And we do get a similar scenario to how, like, you remember in Marshall's timeline, Nathan was basically crucified and about to get killed. Well, in this one, it's reversed. So now you have Marshall who's tied and it looks like he's about to get killed. And Nathan comes and actually saves him. Ooh, wow. If you guys want to know which one was the better timeline, I mean, come on. You know? He passes like his best friend doesn't die in this timeline.
it feels like Marshall's going through like his Peter Parker journey, where his friend's about
Hmm.
to die. He had to learn great powers and great responsibility, and then Nathan
Oh,
just like, oh no, I was already go. I was already good. I just showed up. I already knew what to do. Let's go.
it's funny you should mention that because we do get that moment within the third issue where he goes through his next trial. This time, you find out that Shift makes an appearance here. He does try to try to go against Radiant Black. I mean, come on, dude, the fate of the world's literally at stake here. You can drop your mission, like. I'm pretty sure your bosses would want to let this go, but regardless, you also have all the other Radiants coming up. You have Radiant Red and Radiant Pink. They all try lending a hand at stopping these like little orbs of energy. That's what Nathan's challenge was, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, to make a long story short, in order for this to happen, it was actually Nathan's father who actually came in to give Radiant Red a lift to the next location so that she could absorb the power, right? She did, but unfortunately, the power was too uncontrollable for her to withhold, and it did set off like a mini nuke. Not as catastrophic as it would have been, but still, it was a mini nuke, right? And while all the heroes were able to stop those orbs of energy from igniting and destroying the city, unfortunately, Nathan's father, his vehicle couldn't outrun the nuke that was released by Radiant Red. So yeah,
You know
he
what? Maybe Marshall Tyler isn't that bad. Like, you know what I'm saying? His friend died, but his parents are still alive. I'm just saying.
hey, there's a fairly recognizable city, Austin. Come
Hey,
on.
Marshall didn't even live in this city. He doesn't care.
Hey, nukes were averted in Nathan's timeline. Just telling you, Austin. Like, we
Hmm.
only have one fatality, and that was his father. All right, but oh god, I'm trying to look at this from Radiant Red's perspective because, oh my God, I was the one who caused
I would have
Nathan to
ran
go in a
away.
coma. I was the one who caused Nathan to go in a coma, and I pretty much am the trigger that ended up killing his father.
Yeah. She beat him to the point of death where he lost his power, and then Marshall saved his life. Marshall fought her, beat her up. She felt bad about it, but Marshall was going to kill her in that fight at
Yep.
first, so she apologized. And then
hmm
she meets the guy in the hospital. She's like, "Bro, I hope you get better." And in the moment, this is the first time they see each other really since
Uh,
the time they met after the hospital.
to be fair, in her miniseries of Little Girl Red, I mean Radiant Red, it ended with her giving a bunch of money to the hospital Nathan was in to cover his medical bills.
I
So,
was just saying, from Nathan's point of view, the last time they saw each other was in the hospital while he was still
yeah.
recovering. And she sees her again. He went, goes out his way to ask her for help on everything she did, and she gets his
Mhm.
father killed, technically.
Aw. I would not know how to react in that situation if I was
I
Radiant
I think a
Red.
Nathan Hill turn is coming. I think Nathan's going to lose his shit.
Oh. Ooh. Okay, I wasn't expecting that, Austin. You just want this timeline to be bad
No,
for your
no,
boy
I think that's
Marshall.
how you kind of fix it. So if both timelines are going to converge in one timeline at one point, I feel like that's
Yeah.
kind of how you fix it. Where Nathan's
Mhm.
now about to start getting on the upturn in the final act, and this is
Yeah.
where no, well, Marshall's on the upturn now, and Nathan's on the downward spiral, and then they meet kind of
Mhm.
in the middle.
Gotcha. I guess you have to do that at that point, you know? Yeah, I think there's only like what, one or two issues left of this Catalyst 4. So
Yeah,
we're
I believe
about
we
to
stop at 30 or 31.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. But yeah, this won't be the last we'll be talking about this war, audience. So yeah. Massiverse Part 2 discussion.
It's
Part 3 discussion in the horizon. Now, audience, I know we've been talking a lot about these books, but keep in mind we had one book that was an event, and the other book, which oh man, we got 2 hours into one book, which was no one. But I promise you, the next couple of books they won't take up that much time. So, want to move on, Austin?
Yeah,
what?
we promise you this won't take too much time either.
Yeah. Okay. Next one we're talking about is a book you guys might be familiar with, Jake and Austin, Rogue Sun. And this is just like the end of an arc, not an event, not a whole series, just the end of an arc. So, in case you got an audience needs a little bit of up to date, Rogue Sun's basically going through a superior Spider-Man phase, where one of the predecessors to the Rogue Sun mantle, medieval knight by the name of Caleb, briefly had to take over Rogue Sun's body, and then he had to break the news to Dylan that yeah, look, I know look, kid, the world needs me more than it needs you. So sorry, I think I'm going to be staying in your body from here on out. You know, but
Yeah, like you messed up one too many times, kid.
yeah,
Nah, in this world needs an experienced man.
But
All
I
right,
yeah.
promise you, I won't jack off to any love interest you have, Paul.
but to be fair,
Well,
this guy from back in the day, he might do that. Man, it's
to
more feasible for he to do that than the guy in Doc Ock to do that. Okay.
J- Jake, if it makes you feel more uncomfortable, there is this one love interest in Dylan's life in high school that they never became a couple, but ever since Caleb was in Dylan's body, she's like, oh wow, I'm liking this whole new side of you, Dylan.
Bro, hey, maybe this is a good thing. He might come back and find out he got a girlfriend.
I know. Right? Dylan never had a chance with her, but Caleb could have, would have.
Stargate Atlantis. I don't watch.
Gotcha. But anyway, regardless, Caleb ended up going through like a little depression state because he realized, dude, I gave my life to protect this world during a fierce battle, and you know what? The world's no safer today than it was back in my time. I mean, heck, nobody even remembers who I am. Like, so, let's try going about it a different way. Free will, humanity had their chance. Now I'm just going to impose order. So he goes to like all the villains in Rogue Sun's life. Like there's just one deep, final boss level villain by the name of Morningstar or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Caleb's like, look, I'm not trying to look. I want to do things different this time. He wants to team up with the bad guys at this point. Like let's try and instill an order. And he actually goes to like this one lady who she's a mysticism gal that Dylan's been bringing all the villains he's defeated to her so that she could put them all in like their own kind of like little prison in a bead of jewelry, right? Yeah, I know it might sound messed up, but guys, come on. You're talking about mystical villains and monsters. Where else are you going to put them? If you have a better idea, go ahead and say it. But she does try to rehabilitate them. So, she does have humanity in her. But anyway, Dylan comes in, as Caleb, and he releases them all. So, yeah, this is up to Dylan to kind of come back. And you keep in mind, Dylan, right now, he's in the spirit, the afterworld spirit of all the former Rogue Sons. Think of where all the avatars from Avatar The Last Airbender go.
It's funny you brought that up because I was gonna say that, and they'd be like, Caleb's really doing like the Red Hood plan, where it's like, you know what, I'm gonna become Kingpin, and I'm gonna control all the crime by controlling you guys, and that's how we're gonna bring peace.
Pretty much. And the only thorn to my sign is that Dylan and his father Marcus, who's an ass. But I'm going to get all the other Rogue Sons. I'll promise them that if they bring me Dylan, I'll let one of them go free. Yep.
That's crazy.
Again, I have to gloss over a lot of this because there was a lot of good dynamics with the previous Rogue Sons. I mean, heck, I didn't expect to like the I didn't expect to like the Egyptian Rogue Son as much as I did in this, but here we have it.
Not even speaking of that, you also got Dylan's grandfather and his era Rogue Son and his dynamic, his son, who's Dylan's dad, who's an asshole. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, apparently Dylan's grandfather was an asshole to Dylan's father, and hey, the cycle repeats itself. I think even in this arc, it was revealed like, Marcus. The reason why he treated his son the way he did is because, look, in the way my grandfather taught me, that made me the best hero in the world. So, I kind of wanted to do that for you, Dylan. Did somebody leave? Oh, so let me get Austin back. Hold on.
While we're waiting, let's talk about the state of Sonic the Hedgehog in 2024.
Stop doing that.
Gotcha. But anyway, so yeah, the cycle repeats itself. And long story short, the grandfather had to sacrifice himself in order for Dylan to get free. But he didn't really get free. Instead, he had used an old armor that was in his stepmother's mansion. And we got like basically a white Rogue Son temporarily. And I like what ended up happening with the rest of his family because keep in mind, Dylan also has like a little brother, a step little brother, a stepsister, and a stepmother. The family that his father actually liked and was there for. All of which, all of them in their own way, they are trying to help Dylan in his era as a Rogue Son. So what ends up happening is that the sorceress lady, she ends up giving them all like basically the powers of one individual villain from the collection, from the prison. And basically all those villains, they basically become force ghosts to each member of the family. Like the little brother, he got the powers of the werewolf bats. Yeah, like he even asked him, like, "Oh wow, like, well, what's this whole werewolf bat thing about?" And the guy was like saying, "Yeah, it was a blood pact between the vampires and the werewolves." Okay, kid, long story. But I like the little kid's reaction because he actually does want to hear him, and he actually does develop a sense of kinship to the werewolf bat because he comes to find out that that werewolf bat is actually the youngest sibling in his family as well. You know, and then
Yep.
you have the sister who absorbs like this one demon girl who could suck souls, and the stepmother she gets the most ironic power of all. She gets the power of Dylan's mother, who is the one who actually kills his Marcus. You know, Dylan's father. You know.
Well deserved.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. So the wife gets the power of the ex-wife, basically. You know. And the ex-wife has no choice but to basically be a force ghost for her, unable to do anything but watch. You know. Um, Long story short, eventually, like the sister, she uses her demon second power to absorb the soul of Caleb and get Dylan back his body. Right now, while Caleb is now out of Dylan's body, apparently the side effect will be that Caleb's spirit will now be dwelling within this girl's body. Yeah, nothing creepy about that, right, audience?
Say it again. Say it one more
Nothing,
time.
nothing creepy about that. A chivalry knight that got corrupted is now in the body of a teenage girl.
Hey, how old is teenage? Maybe 16?
I can't. I
Yeah.
can't say a joke.
Or RIP. Yeah, we got to say those jokes for later.
Okay, but anyways, and the little brother, right? I like what when he had to give his powers back to the werewolf bat, and the werewolf bat had to go back to prison. The little brother was like, "Hey, would it be okay if I come visit you sometime? Like, I don't know, maybe we could hang out or something." And the werewolf bat's like, kid, I have nothing better to do, so feel free to come by. You know, you might see a recurring theme of that werewolf bat coming up, which I like. While the stepmother, she has a one-on-one conversation with Dylan's mother, right? And oh, dude, it is. Hold on, let me try finding that page. It is so good because give me a sec, guys. Give me a sec. Okay, the ex-wife basically says, "Look, I don't want to hear any talk from you. I want you to know that while I'm locked away, I'll dedicate every moment of my life to destroying your life. I'm going to escape. I'm going to take Dylan back, you thieving slut, because you stole my husband, you destroyed my life, and now you're raising my son? Oh, I'm going to slowly tear your world apart piece by piece." And then the wife is like, "Oh, wow, Marcus was right. His ex-wife was a total bitch." I want to see round two of these two women, you know. But anyway, you go back to Dylan, and you think this is going to be a farewell between him and Marcus, but Marcus is like, "Look, Dylan, I know you went through a lot of experience, and I know you don't want to see my face, my guts. You hate my guts, this and that. But look, you do need guidance, man. You do need somebody to look after your back." And Dylan actually goes through a character development moment and realizing, yeah, while I hate you, Dad, I do agree with you. So they're going to be sticking back with each other for a bit. And yeah, that's how the issue ends. No, that's how the arc ends.
Yeah,
Again,
and those dialogue here I was concerned about. Because
mhm.
Dylan throws in his face, my grandfather beat you until you were his personal soldier. And for some reason, you want to treat me the same way despite not raising me. Like, bro. Like, come on
Yep,
now.
yep.
You should know this approach wasn't going to work.
The circle of douchebaggery, man. But again, audience, like this is a really great book, probably the best of the Massiverse books in my opinion.
Yeah,
So go check it out.
I agree.
I had to gloss over so many things about this arc just for the sake of time. But anyway, Austin, go ahead, talk about Shift.
All right, so this is the final book of the night. It's just a collection of short stories Schiff is basically the guy we'll call the green, the green Power Ranger of this team.
Yep. He has
He's
that
the bad
Deathstroke.
guy.
Yep. He
Yeah.
has he has that Deathstroke style to him, you know?
It's also a video game you can play at Chuck E. Cheese. Basically.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Why do you know
Shipping.
that? You want to talk about this?
Listen, I just know things. Don't worry. That's why I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
I need someone to look into that while I talk about this show.
Okay, okay.
But this is basically five. This is one issue, but it's broken into five parts. The first part is if I remember, founders meeting, and it's
Mm-hmm.
basically Chef and the other, let's say the other crime bosses meeting up, trying to figure out what's the best thing to do. And while Chef's on the way to this meeting, he just so happened to see Radiant Black, and this cuts to an issue I believe Radiant Black like around like 18 or something,
Mm-hmm.
where Chef was Radiant Black was trying to stop. He was flying over the highway. I think he was trying to figure out what it would cause like pile up here, and his Schiff is just running around him sneakily trying to charge his battery. So Schiff and other people here powers work by stealing energy from the radiance.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I believe Schiff and one more, like two other people also do this, including Radiant Pink's girlfriend, well,
Yeah,
ex
yeah.
girlfriend by this point.
Yep,
But
yep.
Schiff is like sneaking around cars trying not to be seen while
Mm-hmm.
he charges stuff up. And
Mm-hmm.
then Radiant Black sees him. He's about to try to shoot him, and he hits him one time. But by then, he was already charged up and he teleports away. And he's like,
Yep.
I'm getting tired of doing that. So he reveals that anytime he's low on power, he just sneaks around Radiant Black, like during issues. And apparently, going back, you can see like little green hints in certain scenes to show that he was there the whole time to charge this stuff while he was fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
But Shift shows up at the, what you must say?
No, no, go ahead. All right.
Shift shows up at the founder meeting, me puts everybody in place. I'm the boss. I'm in charge. Chapter 2, launch day.
Mm-hmm.
Shift's a mercenary. He just kind of does whatever the writer wants at the time. And I didn't have a set job for him.
I mean, yeah, he's actually the first character in the Massiverse that actually makes a direct appearance within no one's town in Pittsburgh. He was
Yep.
he was assigned to get a blood sample out of that Aaron Kern guy, the one who's in jail. You know.
Yep.
Hmm.
That's the only way you know it's connected because they don't talk about anything else that happens.
Yeah.
But right now we're in Chicago, Illinois. It's funny enough. But
Hmm.
he's drinking his soda. He tried to make sure all the shipments of guns and everything's on time. Only to find out that one of the old crime bosses, like old man, old,
Hmm.
and wants to meet with him. They have one of those little slide conversations, like the Kingpin conversations, where he's over there eating food. You got to sit down, crime boss type stuff. And he's like, I got a
Yep.
mission for you. We'll get your guns, but I need you to go steal something. And then this cuts to, I believe this cuts to the day after, like a little bit after the scene you just brought up. Funny enough, so he
Yeah.
talks about Aaron right now. The
Yep.
scene with Aaron, but he's here to steal something from the government. He teleporting and shifting through their. They call him shift because he can basically shift his genes and teleport stuff like that. And he's
Hmm.
like phasing through people, like Kitty Pryde style, killing people. But he's trying to do it silently, and his partner's just like,
Hmm.
nah, bro. He just shooting guns at people. And it's like,
Hmm.
bro, we're supposed to do this silently, but he getting this the laptop information that they wanted. Part 3 is working capital. So now it's time to start making money. But so in order to sell our guns here properly, like I said, we cut back to the Aaron stuff right here where he breaks into his cell to talk to him,
And
and
I
he
like
pulls his stuff in.
Yeah, and I like Aaron's response, like, because Shifts was like, "Well, what's the big deal with you?" And Aaron's like, "Oh, I'm no one."
Yep.
Like, oh, wait, yeah. If it was revealed that Aaron is actually no one, this would be the one foreshadowing moment here, you
I
know?
would hate it if he actually just tells people that and they just don't listen to him and they just don't believe it.
Yep,
But
yep.
as we talked about earlier, he gets his blood. Shifts apparently have a negative side effect for shifting so much. He teleports outside and starts throwing up on the floor. And like, bro,
Mhm.
you leaving evidence on the scene of the crime? Come on now. You
Mhm.
know, nobody decides to take that random part of throw up, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But he got the blood and he got something else. Let me see what this is. He has the internet chip from the laptop now in his hand. Chapter 4 is off brand. He's hanging out with his other villain. Is a villain in early Radio Black who turns sound waves or music into like power. Think of like I guess Dazzler, I believe, does a power.
Yeah, yeah.
Like turn sounds into attack power type thing.
Mm-hmm.
The girls basically do that. This is Chef's side pieces in his boxers. He's just kind of chilling.
Mm-hmm.
She's helping build his tech. They're trying to fix her suit, and then her suit goes off and kind of like blows both of their eardrums. But the tech is back working again, so now she's back up and out. So she's probably gonna show
Yeah.
up in one of the Radiant Black books again.
Yep.
And then you got the chapter 5, which is selling out. So basically, it looks like this is a few months later. He's it looks like he's in jail. Yeah, he's
He
arrested.
is. He is. Yep.
Chips is in jail, eating snacks and stuff. So they treat him pretty good, bro. I ain't gonna lie. You got a
Mm-hmm.
TV in here? It's better than juvenile. Juvenile, you don't even get TVs in your room.
Aw.
It's kind of sad. Uh,
High pro.
a guy
High
stole
pro.
a high profile target, I guess.
Yeah.
He probably paid him off. A guy walks in with his outfit on, his shift outfit, and you know already know he's pissed off. And it's funny because this guy's standing over him because he's sitting down, and the guy's talking like bad shit. Like I know things about you. Yeah, I bet I can kill you right now. And it still stands up and towers over him. And he's like, "Here, your suit back, bro. I'm sorry." And then the shit just means just knocks him out, put the suit on, and then he escapes. And
Mm-hmm.
then, so this is the government man who, in the Radio Black book we were just talking about earlier, who is helping the government team up with Radio Black. Find out he has a deal with Shift.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he hired Shift to go after, I guess, Nathan in that timeline. So, is that the correct timeline then?
Ooh. Ooh.
Maybe Nathan did win. I'm just saying, Shift didn't show up in Marshall's yet.
Well, we're about to find out.
But if that's a shift
But
in time, it just
yeah.
basically shows you where he was in different parts of the story. You kind of see where he ties in and where he was going before and after certain events.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, this means he has an actual big part in the event and just not showing up to fight Radiant Black.
Hopefully. I mean, I do see potential with him. I mean, he's described as like the Green Ranger in this massive verse
Yeah.
universe, you know? So you would
When it
expect a
comes to
lot out of
villains,
him.
I think his design is the best. He kind of looked like if Genji from Overwatch was more high tech or more cyberpunk, that's kind of the vibe he gives.
Mm-hmm.
Cause if you look at his pants, like his waist down, it's like all like armored ninja type stuff, and you like
Mm-hmm.
waist up, it's like cyberpunk.
Mm-hmm.
And
True.
that's the only way I can describe without people reading the book. Even at the
Mm-hmm.
bottom, they're like Shift will return, Radiant Black 80s, 28 and 28.5, but he wasn't in 28. He was in 28.5.
Yep. He was in Nathan's book. So yeah. Good book. Good character, good
Yeah,
premise.
it's a nice short read. It's kind of it gets to the point. You get to see what this character's about, how his powers work, what he does, what his relationship with the heroes and the villains are. It sets him up
Mm-hmm.
pretty good for
Yep.
what issue thing.
Gotcha. But anyway, with that, we do have one more book, but again, it's going to be like a 2 to 3 minute discussion because
Yeah,
with everything can't be diamonds and gold. There has to be one comic, one character that's at the bottom of the pile, and unfortunately, that's Dead Lucky.
this is the Hawkeye
Um,
of the Avengers.
oh, I won't go that far, man. Hawkeye could sell at least a
Yeah,
miniseries.
true.
But anyway, Dead Lucky, the former soldier, have PTSD, has electrical powers, this and that, yada yada yada. I don't know. I just can't get into this recent run. I want to get into her. I mean, one of one of the platoon soldiers that was in her squad that died while on duty. He died right in front of her, right? And that's why, like, when she activates her powers, her electricity turns converts into the forms of her dead soldiers, right? This whole time she thought those were the spirits of them, but hey, one of them's alive, so these can't possibly be the spirits. And he's here basically substituting as Radiant Orange, but his name is Pyre. Apparently he has uh flame powers, slightly dense skin. Well, he can't turn on fire. He just needs like one spark to fully ignite. He has that coursing through his whip, his steel whip, and yeah, um, nothing much to say. In each issue, right? They have the writer has like a little after credit. I won't say after credit scene, but she does look random trivia facts in the back for books, right? Whether it relates to PTSD or a story about her personal experience, or like a profile to a specific character. Heck, in these past couple of issues, those last pages have been literally dedicated to talking about a recipe for either a cocktail or an empanada or a dumpling.
Good lady trying to get you good, fed, and drunk. Okay, that's she knows her book's bad. All right, that's what it is.
Yeah, which is really sad because this is one. Okay, there are only a few books ongoing in the Massiverse. Those are Rogue Sun, Radiant Black, and I'm not counting No One because No One's about to end in another couple issues. But Dead Lucky, no, it's an ongoing as well. So you have 3 ongoing books. So I feel like you could have given an ongoing to another Radiant. But yeah.
Oh yeah, I just found out Inferno Girl Red book 2 is on Kickstarter. So that whole series is funded by Kickstarter, and that's why that one's not coming out as fast as others.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to have to go look at that Kickstarter after this. So, alrighty then, audience. With that, we got through our part 2.
Yeah, you're caught up. The next time we come back, hopefully the Catalan War is over.
Yeah.
We might have to do it like after every major arc. We'll probably talk about the Massiverse.
Yeah. Well, again, audience, we have to condense so much into one episode, but hey, we'll adjust it furtherly, as time goes on. Again, this is our year 1 of Comic Fanatic, after all. So, all right. Okay. Again, follow us on our socials at Comic Fanatic 69 on Twitter, this and that, and yeah. Any final thoughts, guys?
Jake, ask the question.
Ask a question.
Ask a question. Yes.
Okay. How massive is it?
It's not as massive. It's not as massive you would think it would be.
Oh God.
I was pleasantly surprised.
It was an average size.
Massive black labels. What you're telling me, right? All right, audience. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye.
Oh, God.
Bye.